What's up, guys? This is Crypto with James talking to you today about Chiliz. Now, I know Chiliz has had a lot of heat over the past couple of years with the fan tokens. Not been well received in particular countries, not been well received potentially by some sports fans. For me, I'm insanely bullish on Chiliz long term because fundamentally they have got a stranglehold on football. And football is the biggest sport in the world. And as a result, the way that they have grown the fan token sort of world, I think this is primed to do some serious run in the next bull cycle. I'm also going to talk about what's coming up with the FOMC. Obviously, they're meeting today. So I want to talk about the potential avenues they're going to go down regarding the interest rates and how this will affect the crypto markets. But guys, before I get into any of that, if you're brand new to the channel, when I created this channel, I did the first 26 videos I did were about these coins. These were actually also the coins that I held. And in the videos I said I'm buying these coins. Had you put in just $100 into each of these coins when I released videos about them, and you never sold them, you rode them through a bull cycle, ignoring the fact that you're in a bull cycle and you're still holding them. If you sold them today, you'd be able to bank around 13 grand in profit, which is not bad from a $2,600 investment. That's a 5x in profit. But you should have sold them in 2021 like I did, like my followers did, like my friends did. And if you had, the $100 in each, the $2,600 investment, would have got you a profit of 123 grand. There's a big, big difference between doing the right and wrong thing. Now, as I said, I sold all these in 2021. They're not what I own. But if you do want to see the cryptos that I own right now, the ones that I expect to be the big, big winners, like I said with Phantom and Theta and Zilliqa and VeChain and Engine and all of these, then go to copymycrypto.com. Go read the site. Everything on that site you can verify on this channel's history. Everything I've said is public. If you're looking to make gains in crypto, but you don't want to be doing, or you don't want to, or you don't have time to do a load of research, you've got family obligations, you've got everything in the way, then you can copy me and my holdings and make the same profits I do. And as I said, everything is public record. You can see what I've said. And if after you read the site you really like it, then maybe you should join and I will see you there. And if you don't, of course, guys, there's no obligation to buy. You keep watching the channel for this amazing content. And let's talk about Chiliz. Now, Chiliz is currently priced at basically 12 cents. Market cap is 800 mil. Chiliz managed to weather the sort of FUD storm that we were experiencing really, really well. So obviously, about a month and a half, bit before a month ago, we were getting a lot of negative news in media. As always, it's bloody media. They like to scare everyone. But there was a lot of negative news stuff, particularly with regards to obviously FTX and Celsius, Alameda, all of that. And Chiliz really weathered that storm well. And part of the reason was Alexander Dreyfus, who's creator of Chiliz and CEO of Chiliz and Socios, said just for what it's worth, we didn't have any exposure for FTX, Celsius, 3 Hours Capital, Silvergate, Signature, or Silicon Valley Bank. So they didn't actually get caught up in any of the drama in the past 12 months. The only actual, obviously Chiliz and Socios have done some major investments over the past couple of years, buying up Barcelona, Fan TV, buying a share in that, and they've spent money, but they haven't brought in or they haven't utilized a lot of these banks or these crypto exchanges or these venture capitalists that just got wiped out. They've stayed well clear of that, and that's worth noting because fundamentally, a lot of cryptos got dragged into that. A lot. Now, what I particularly like about Chiliz is, look, they, like as I said, they have a stranglehold on football in particular. Although they've now introduced and they now have a lot more sports franchises partnering with them. But in terms of the biggest sport in the world, it's football. The most avid fans in the world generally are football fans. And, you know, they've got the biggest football teams in the world that have fan tokens now. You can see Lionel Messi on the front of the socios.com website promoting socios. You know that they're partnered with La Liga. You know that and La Liga is the Spanish first division. You know they're partnered with Serie A, that's the Italian first division. They're partnered with the Champions League, which is literally the place you go where you want to see the best teams in the world. And then when you actually look at the fan tokens that have now been built upon Chiliz, I mean, they're enormous. If we go to the exchange, we'll be able to see. So you've got PSG, you've got Man City, you've got Barcelona, you've got Galatasaray, you've got Napoli. Napoli's obviously flying in the Serie A at the moment, and it's the most expensive token as of right now. And that's worthy of note, by the way, guys. If you are a football fan, there's profits to be made from picking the right fan tokens, because those ones that end up being the most successful team end up having the biggest pump. And Napoli are one of the favourites, one of the favourites to win the Champions League because of their draw. It's bloody nice. And why is that relevant? Well, Chiliz fuels the entire exchange. You can buy and sell all these tokens with Chiliz, and it's really simple. It's really easy. You can literally sign up, create an account. It's as simple as it gets. Not quite as simple as copying my crypto. That's even better. But this is damn good. Now, they also have game used, which is a new thing that they've started introducing, which is for sports memorabilia. This is the confirmation to authenticate sports memorabilia and then deploy it for resale and redemption. Very nice feature. Let's be honest, sports memorabilia is one of the biggest things that sports fans and investors buy. You know, how many times if you watch Gary Vaynerchuk, you must have seen him talking about selling baseball cards and buying baseball cards and then selling them for huge profits. And that is a big, big area where a lot of retail money goes. You know, you hope you can get that first pair of boots by a player that ends up becoming one of the all-time greats, and all of a sudden that $100 you spent is now worth 10 grand. So Chiliz introducing this as a feature is a really clever idea. I really like this. And then obviously they've got Chiliz 2.0 now, which is their mainnet, where they have a full Ethereum interoperability now. So it means you can build on Ethereum and transition over to Chiliz. They also use proof of stake authority consensus mechanism, which is very different from what we've seen previously. It creates a stronger network and introduces the element of sort of staking, introduces a staking threshold within it as well. That means holders require a certain amount, which I quite like. As you can see as well, they continue to grow. Look at Socios, listing soon. Tigres, Vasco, Persib, Bali United, FLU, no idea who they are. Saracens, see, they've started taking over rugby now as well. And it's just, I think the growth, Leicester Tigers, Harlequins, goddamn. Yeah, so they're taking over rugby. And rugby's a massive sport as well. Obviously not quite comparable to some of the American sports like your NBA or your NFL, even though rugby has a wider global reach in terms of nations that are actually interested in it. But the way that they've managed to get this stranglehold on football in just such a short space of time, for me, is a really strong sign that long term this is going to end up being a big winner. Again, you're looking at the biggest sport in the world. They are the go-to place if you're interested in football. I expect them to evolve this in many different iterations as well. I think there's a good shot that Chiliz will end up, starting to introduce some sort of trading cards if they can. I know they're probably in competition with So Rare. Is it So Rare? I think it's So Rare. Who have theirs, but digital collectibles are going to be a massive thing within the sports world. Of course they are. Inevitably, like an example of something I could see them doing. I'm not sure they will, but it's an example. Is Napoli are going to win the Serie A? There's no question. PSG should be no question that they win Liga. Barcelona look nailed on to win La Liga. The English Premier League is a little more precarious, but it looks like Arsenal at the moment. Now, when those teams, and Arsenal have there's Arsenal's as well. When these teams win their leagues, if Chiliz, in association with those teams, release digital NFTs of the championship trophy on limited edition, how much volume is that going to push through? How many people are going to want to buy that and then potentially sell that down the line? That's another way that they can expand. And if anyone from Chiliz is watching and they steal that idea, that's mine. That's mine. Okay? I want money for that. But I just think the way that they've locked down football in what? Realistically, since 2021, because they started getting this all in place early 2021. In 2 years, they've basically locked down all of football. They're almost locking down. They're going to lock down all of rugby. If they can start introducing, if they can lock down boxing as well, that would be massive. And just to me, this seems inevitable that they're going to have success because they are well positioned with advertising as well. That's a huge thing. Socios are at the forefront of all La Liga advertising. They're at the forefront of Champions League advertising. They're at the forefront of Serie A advertising. Retail investors will see this constantly. And when money starts flowing into the markets more and more and more, Chiliz is going to benefit. I can see Chiliz being a $2 coin. That would put it at a market cap of about 12 to 13 billion. And I think that's quite achievable. They hit a high of around 70 cents in the previous bull cycle. So in the next one, I'd be, first I've got to get past that previous high. But $2, when $2 per coin, a market cap of 12 billion, when they're locking up the biggest sport in the world, of course they can do that. I think this is a big winner. And they've managed to avoid all major bank collapses. They managed to avoid all major VC collapses. This is a win. So, yeah, for me, $2, very, very achievable. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think it can do that? And what do you think of the idea of the championship NFT trophy? That was digital NFT trophy. That was something that just came to me, but I quite like that as an idea. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you are a returning viewer, and you haven't hit the subscribe button, what are you doing? What are you doing? These videos are going to make you money. Don't miss them. So just hit the subscribe button now. And guys, before I get to the FOMC, if you want to see the coins that I have right now in my holdings, all the cryptos that I currently own, you can do. You just have to go over to copymycrypto.com. Go and read the site. Everything on the site tells you what I've said in the past. You can confirm all of it on YouTube. You can see everything in depth. You can read through it. It's going to take you 10 minutes. It's worth 10 minutes of your time. If you are tired of doing white paper reading, if you're tired of looking at charts, If you don't want to spend the next year reading 10,000 hours, 20,000 hours, 30,000 hours, then on Copy My Crypto, I share every coin I own, every one I buy and every one I sell, and members can copy along. I have a proven track record. You can see the spreadsheet. I show it every video. And if it impresses you and if you like what you read, then join me there. Because it takes the work out of it for you and you can literally copy along. It couldn't be more simple. So go read the site now, guys. And last thing, FOMC meeting. So this was just an analyst at Commerce Bank talking about the FOMC meeting today that goes on tomorrow as well. And it was basically said, if the Fed is similarly determined as the European Central Bank to continue with its measures against inflation, that would be positive for the dollar, as the market would have to adjust its key rate expectations to the upside. To my recollection, the expectations before a Fed rate meeting have never been so far apart, from 0 to 25 to 45 basis point hikes. Nobody really knows what we will get tomorrow. It's a bit like taking a pick from a chocolate box, perhaps at this stage, not even the central bankers themselves know at this stage who, if they had a wish, would probably wish not to have a meeting this week. Now, my point will be, look, fundamentally, the Fed have to decide between two things. They have to decide between fighting inflation or stabilizing the markets. We are in a situation right now where we have a very real possibility of a contagion event with these banks that have collapsed. Now, a contagion event regarding banks will crush fiat currencies. It will damn sure crush the dollar. And if the Fed decide to go against doing the rate hikes and just leave the market as it is and let it stabilize, that will get confidence, or that should hypothetically increase confidence in banks. It really shouldn't. Banks suck. But hypothetically, it could increase confidence in banks, and as a result, it will stabilize the markets, and then they can address inflation at their next meeting. The counter argument is inflation's out of control, and they need to keep trying to address it. And that's really the two avenues. So 0 points is based on the fact that they want to stabilize the markets. 50 basis points is based on how Jerome Powell was speaking in front of Congress. 25 basis points is probably where we land. A soft touch approach to the inflation that doesn't necessarily have a hugely negative impact on markets. But fundamentally, this is actually the most uncertain FOMC meeting we've had in over a year and a half. All of last year's were predictable. We knew what was happening beforehand. This time is the first time since the previous bull cycle, I think, where we are all uncertain about how they're going to approach things. And if you are in shorts or longs, I would be getting out of them before the press conference tomorrow, because the volatility in the markets is going to go crazy. But either way, it's always interesting. Let me know what you guys think Jerome Powell and his team of cronies are going to do in the comments. What do you think? 0 basis point, 25 or 50? Let me know in the comments down below. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.